everyone, it's Shell from Scrap Secrets and welcome back to my channel. Today's day 19 in the 2022 Countdown to Christmas series, and we're going to be making a Slimline Scene Card using some Peanuts stamps. So the stamps are from Kindred Stamps, as well as the die cut for the house with the lights. They're all from a Kindred Stamps old kit. And then that Christmas tree is actually from a Mama Elephant set called Oh Tiny Tree. I thought that made the cutest little Charlie Brown tree. It even has the two little wood pieces that were on the bottom. So adorable. So fun fact, I actually have a tree out front that was the skinny, scrawny little tree when I first moved in. And the first couple of years, I put a blue towel around the bottom and put the ornament on it. And I actually had neighbors stop and they were laughing at it because they knew exactly what tree it was. It was the Charlie Brown tree. So this is special to me. This card is probably going to go to my parents. My mom loves Peanuts. Charlie Brown's Christmas special is always the one she waits for every year and has to watch it. And she's had like the little scene on her desk when she worked. So this is definitely right up her alley. So I stamped the images onto some Canson XL watercolor cardstock. And I also cut out the house, two of the Christmas trees, Christmas lights from the Canson XL watercolor paper. And then I cut out the roof line in just some black cardstock. So I'm using some crackling campfire distress oxide to color in the house. It's not exactly the red of his house. I actually am going to go in and do a couple things to kind of help it look a little bit more red. It looks a little bit orangey, but this was the color that I had on my desk and I was too lazy to get up and get the distress oxide from behind me. So now we're going to move on to the watercoloring part, and I'm using a couple of different colors of Derwent Inktense watercolor pencils, putting down a little bit of color and then pulling it out with the brush. So while you're watching me watercolor, I was going to do a little bit of story time. So I took Mila to school the other day, and she is, like, if you've heard any of my stories about her, I take her to school once a week, and it's so good. I love spending that time with her. So I don't have XM. I didn't buy XM for my car, but apparently they're having it free, I guess, from probably Thanksgiving until Christmas. And so I was listening to either the 80s or the 90s or the Hair Nation station on XM. And I was singing and dancing to the song, and Mila was in the back, and I looked at her. I looked up in the mirror at a red light, and she just had this disgust look on her face. I mean, I can't sing, so I don't blame her, but she just had this look on her face, and I just started cracking up, and I said, Mila, do I embarrass you? And she said, yes. So I have now embarrassed my 3-year-old niece beyond belief, and I said, oh my goodness, the attitude that came from her. I said, oh, she's a three-nager. You would think she's a teenager already. And she was just embarrassed by me. So I guess I'm doing my job as aunt and godmother, that I am totally embarrassing her. So, but when I dropped her off at school, I have not met her friend Sadie, and I keep asking. I said, every time I drop her off, and I don't always drop her off the same day, the same time. It totally depends on my work schedule and what my brother actually needs help with. Sometimes I put Nora on the bus and then take her, and then other times my brother will put Nora on the bus and then I take Mila to school. So I don't take her the same days, the same times, anything like that. And I've never met her best friend. So the two of them, the teacher tells me that they will walk around holding hands all day. Like, it's just them. They are best friends, and, that's it. That's pretty much all who she plays with. So I had told her the one day, I said, I think Sadie's imaginary. She's in your head. Just totally joking around with her. She goes, I didn't eat her. And so I told the teacher, and the teacher was like, she said, I just can't with her. She's just so funny. And I said, it's not just us that find her funny. She is just a funny, funny kid for being a 3-year-old. She just cracks us all up. So even the teacher sees that and sees that she's a funny kid. So just, my Mila stories, I love the time with her and the time that I get to spend with her, because it's just one-on-one time. an update on the girls crafting. I will not be taking the twins this year. I think I might have told you guys already. They're traveling and there's just no weekends between Thanksgiving and Christmas that I could have had the girls. So we're going to do a virtual crafting, I think, with them. I am taking Nora on the 11th, so we probably will have a video. So at least I'll have a video with one of my nieces this year. And then I'm also going to go to my brother and sister-in-law's house and craft with Mila on a Friday when my parents have them, because I'm off every Friday for the rest of the year. I'm actually off for most of the rest of the year now because I didn't use my PTO days. So hopefully there will be a lot more content, a lot more than just this Christmas series. I have a lot of days off, so I'm planning on doing a lot of crafting, but it will be a lot of Christmas cards because I still have to do my own. Okay, so story time's over, back to the card. So these are the two lights, and I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do with them, but I picked out a Copic marker, and I believe this is G06, and just went over the wire of these lights. So I wish these lights were a little bit different. I don't think that they fit on top of the house really well. Maybe I'm not doing them correctly. If you guys have this and there's a better way to string these lights, let me know. But I just feel like they don't swag. I don't know. When I put them on there, you'll see what I mean. So the first thing that I did was I picked a couple of colors and just added a little bit of color to the bulbs. And then I realized that they weren't that bright. I'm actually going to go in with the water, a little bit of water on the brush to the tip of the pencil and pick up a lot of the color that way, and they become much more vibrant. Unfortunately, in the end, they are not as vibrant because I do something else, and it makes them a little bit more dull, but then we go ahead and put something over it. So it's all fixed in the very end. So you can see here, that's where I went in and look at the difference between the red and the orange. They kind of looked the same now, and it's very, very bright versus the red that I'm working on right now, or even the orange. The orange does turn out to be pretty bright in the end. So if you don't like the color that you're getting, or if you want a softer color, there's different things that you can do. I did cut out when I was coloring in the skin, but I accidentally colored in Charlie Brown's skin too dark. It almost looked like the color of what pig pen would look like. And I just went back in with a little bit of water and sopped it up with a paper towel, and you can completely lighten the colors. So now we're going to work on the background. Originally, I had thought that I wanted to make this a one-layer card, but then I couldn't figure out how to do that with the die cuts. So I cut down this piece of cardstock, and I'm like, well, let's just use this for the full background. So I'm going in with Uncharted Mariner, which I think this is only the second time I've used it. I love this color. It's so pretty. And I wanted it to be kind of a night sky, but not super dark. I did a painting with somebody on Facebook called Painting with Jessie last year or the year before. I can't remember when it was. It was actually Super Bowl day. I think it was like 2 years ago. And we did a Charlie Brown painting, and I have it down in my craft room and love it. So if I remember, I'll put the picture in the video. If not, I'll try to put it up on my Instagram, because I think I have it on Instagram with this card. And I love that painting so much, and it came out so well. Like, the characters actually look like the characters. And I was really impressed with that, and I wanted to kind of recreate the scene but add a couple more characters to it. So the sky, the blue that I chose for the sky wasn't that really, really dark night sky. It was kind of the later afternoon dark blue sky, but not super deep. So I chose the Uncharted Mariner prize ribbon, and then I decided to go back in with a little bit of the black soot just around the very edges of it. I don't love the way that it looks with the Uncharted Mariner. I do like the way it looks with the prize ribbon, but for some reason with Uncharted Mariner, it didn't look right. And that Uncharted Mariner, it almost made it look a little bit green, I think. So I tried not to, I went back over it with some of the other colors. I went over it with some prize ribbon and then some of the Uncharted Mariner again, just to kind of blend that stuff, those colors together. I think I did that off screen. So you'll see me now here taking 2 colors of red Copic markers and just adding the lines on top of here. I don't like the way that that looked. I was doing a lot of things and I was like, no, I don't like the way it looked. So after I did this, I kind of went in and colored a little bit around the door. And again, I didn't like that. So I went back in with some Crackling Campfire Distress Oxide and went over and it dulled those lines a lot. It went over top of them and dulled them, as you can see here. And I think that it looks a little bit less orange and a little bit more red, but it still makes those plank lines or the siding on the doghouse kind of stand out, as opposed to when I just had done the Crackling Campfire over top of it. I'm going to now take some Honeybee Bee Creative glue to attach the roof to the base of the house, and then we're going to get started on putting the card together. This is one of the rare instances that the card came together the way that it was in my head. It's exactly how I pictured it would be. Usually I have an image in my mind and it comes out totally different than the vision that I have, but this one is exactly how I wanted it to be. So I'm tracing out the doorway of the doghouse because I wanted it to be black inside of there. Now, don't worry about the white at the bottom. We're actually going to do a technique at the bottom to cover it up. They're going to be standing in snow. So I'm actually just adding a little bit of glue to the back of the house. My Honeybee glue, when I went to take the cap off, the entire inside piece came off with it. I put it back on and screwed the top back on, took the top off again, and it was fine, but it was leaking glue everywhere. So I don't know what's going on with it. I do love this glue, but this bottle, for some reason, I think this was the one that exploded a little while ago when I was making a Halloween card. So I don't know, it must be just like a bad bottle that I got. So I'm going to keep using that bad bottle to put glue on the back of all of the images and then place them down onto the card front. So I put Linus down, and then I'm going to put the tree down and then glue Charlie Brown. And I originally had Woodstock on the left side of the doghouse, but he's eventually going to go on the right side, because if you can see towards the bottom right, I have a little mark there and I wanted to cover it. I don't know what it was from. I do get some fingerprints on this. My hands are dirty, even though like I've washed them and tried to get all of the Distress Oxide off. I don't know if you guys are the same way. Anytime I use Distress Oxide, my fingers get so inky. Like you can see right there, I just got red, that Crackling Campfire on Snoopy. I was able to get most of it off by using that Tombow eraser, and so mostly it came off, and then I just tried to, with a little bit of water, and picked up what was left. So here's where I attach the lights, and I don't love the way this looked. I cut off the very right side of it because there's a really long tail on the one side, and I can't figure out how these lights are supposed to go, because I thought they should just kind of be swagged around the house, but maybe that's not how they go. Maybe I need to look at the videos again. But when I go to place the second one on, I don't think, like, there was really no good way to place them on and have them look continuous together or good together. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you can figure out a better way. Maybe they're supposed to go around the house, on the house. I don't know. I thought they were supposed to just hang off the roof, like swag off the roof. But let me know if you have this kit and you know a better way, or if you can just look at it and tell me a better way. Please leave comments below, because I don't love the way the lights came out. That was really the only issue that I had with this card, is I don't think the lights came out right. And you can see that there I'm adding Woodstock to kind of cover that little piece by the very end of the right set of the lights, and glue him on. And then the last thing we're going to do is I did stamp out one of the red ornaments to hang off the tree. When I do my Charlie Brown tree, that's what I did too. I put the blanket around the bottom and then did one red ornament. So, and now we're going to move on to the snow. This is a Snow Rider, and I think it's a Marvy Snow Rider. I'm just going around and putting snow underneath all of the characters and where it's the white part. And then we're going to go in with some Prisma glitter. I think this looks good, but the glitter, it's not, it doesn't always stick. Some of it still will fall off. So if you're giving this to somebody who hates glitter, be aware. It'll probably drop some glitter. So I'm going around the bottom again and adding snow everywhere where there's white, making it uneven, bumpy, some spots higher than others. Also adding a little bit to the bottom of the tree. I probably should have also added it to the top of the doghouse, but I don't think about doing that until after I've already put everything away and I'm like, forget it. So I was smart here and then dumped off the glitter at the bottom. Oh, it goes all over my desk and I have stuff everywhere. But then I decide to turn my card upside down and guess what happens? The Distress Oxide is not dry and it sticks everywhere. So I'm going to end up using my brush. See, this is where I make the big mistake and now there's glitter all over, which just means that there's a shiny background, which is fine, but that glitter comes off everywhere. So I was actually FaceTiming with one of my friends tonight and she was like, did you use glitter today? And I said, why? She's like, because it's still all over your face. I'm like, oh, good. So I showered already, but I probably still have it on my face. So I wanted to add a little bit of snow and I'm taking some pigment unicorn ink from Hero Arts and putting it on the block with a little bit of water and sprinkling it on with a fan brush to add some falling snow to the background. So this worked okay, but then I had so much on my brush, I actually put it down on the glass media mat, spray it with water, and then flick the brush, and there's so much left in it, and that's why you can see so much more now. I'm going in and adding little like stars or shiny bits, so it's a dot and then a cross coming out of the dot. Just adding a couple of them to the back of the scene, whether they be stars or like little sparkles in the sky. I just thought they looked really cute. So added a couple of them in there, was trying to be really careful because that snow is so thick and it's not dry yet. It does take a while for it to dry. I did go ahead and attach it to a card base while it was still wet. So I'm going to put the tape onto the card base and then press the card down onto that instead of doing the other way around, putting the tape on the back of this piece. So the last thing that I do, I'm going to use some of that sparkle glaze from Lawn Fawn and go over the lights on there because the color has dulled a little bit. The white from the snow did get onto the lights a little bit, but now we're going to put the glitter glue or the sparkle glaze on top of it and you're not even really going to notice. I just wanted the lights to shine. If you don't have sparkle glaze and you have like a Spectrum Noir sparkle pen, or if you have some glossy accents, you can go ahead and put those over it. And then, I apologize, I did one more thing. I put little white dots in their eyes to finish the entire card up. So that was the card for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to put it on the card base and then we are finished. If you guys have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below. I will also leave a link to the intro video if you haven't checked that out. Please go over and check it out. And I did realize that I do have a spelling error in the intro video. I put into instead of intro video. I just haven't fixed it. So it is what it is. But yeah, so it's the into video, not the intro video. But there are rules over there for the giveaway. And Tara and I are working on the date for our collaboration for this too, so you'll have an extra chance to win if you participate in that one, but I'll leave more information for that on that video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys again real soon in another video. Bye!